Greetings and welcome to a discussions video here at Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander, and I'm joined by Hot Shooter himself, Mr. Dafford Moody. How you doing?
Howdy, ladies and gentlemen. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
The last time we did
Been a
a reactions discussion, whatever the fuck you want to call it, to a big press conference thing, and you wore that t-shirt, the whole video failed. So let's hope history doesn't repeat itself.
Dripping off time, ladies and gentlemen. Time to bear all.
The plan worked perfectly. It was the Xbox Game Showcase. I think that was what they ended up calling it.
Yes.
Like 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago for us. And we're sitting here, we're going to record what we thought of it. And talk backwards and forwards about all of the games, because there were games this time. I actually gave a shit. It was amazing. So what did you think, Rudy? Overall, top level, I sat down and watched this thing for an hour, and then I left, and then that's where you finished the sentence.
I thought this was a very good, solid show. Nothing really blew me away. I don't deny that. But I thought it flowed well. It was very well paced. They did what they said they were going to do, and that was show the games. He showed a lot of games. Yes, a lot of CGI trailers, but they also showed games that had gameplay in it and everything like that. What I like so much about what they showed was they had a diverse style of games for many different type of gamers out there. You want your first person shooters? Boom, Halo Infinite. You want your horrors games? Boom, State of Decay 3 and etc. and etc. You want story-driven games? You've got Tell Me Why. And many more. You got some oldies out there and everything. I think they did a really good balance. Like I say, nothing really blew me away. They made me go yeah, or anything like that, which is a little disappointing to a certain part. There's no doubt about it. But this was a really solid show, which says what Xbox are doing. They're for everybody. That's what they want. They want you to get into their ecosystem. They want you to get onto Game Pass. Like every single game they mention on here will be going into Game Pass, which I think is fabulous. Which is a fantastic thing to shout out and say. So yeah, I really thought it was a good show. I would easily say a good solid 7 out of 10 for me.
Nice. I thought they knocked it out of the fucking park. I'm not gonna lie. To contrast where you were at, where I was at, I did eventually, because you sent me a text in the pre-show, and you were like, I didn't watch the pre-show, by the way, and you were like, hey, should we jump on Discord? And I was literally just lying down on my phone, just like, I can't be asked to get up. But I eventually did get up to put it on the big screen, so I was like, I should watch this on the big screen. For Halo. I was like, I should put the big screen on just so I can see Halo running on my TV. And I was like, sat over there. It's only the second time in this not E3 that we're having where I was like, damn, I wish we'd been doing an E3 style reactions live stream for this, because I was like, in a few moments, just like, you know me, really, and my reactions to things. They're never over the top. I'm never going to be in any kind of live stream compilation for like flipping my fucking desk over or like screaming at the top. But like there was a few moments where I was like, oh shit, or like, oh wow, oh that's amazing, like there was a few moments that got me like that. For the only other time that's happened in this summer of gaming was when we watched the PS5 reveal, which you know about because we were actually in a Discord chat that time, and I was going, holy shit, let's fucking go,
Yeah.
I love this. Like you say, fucking so many different types of games. It wasn't just, hey, you like big AAA games? Here's big AAA games, and there were big AAA games. And then it was like, you like horror games? Cool. You like adventure games? Cool. You like whatever the fuck Psychonauts is? Cool. Like, there was something for everyone. And yeah, when they flexed on Game Pass, and they were just like, so everything that we just showed you, that's all going to launch in Game Pass. And I was like, oh my god, that famous meme clip.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But I do think there's a caveat to that, which I'll allude to at the end of the episode.
Oh, he's trying to create an air of intrigue and mystery. Should we talk about? We'll talk about Game
Thumbs
Pass.
down already by everybody. They're just like, see
Yeah,
you.
thanks, Moody.
Fuck you,
Thanks.
dog.
We'll
Fuck
talk about the Game
you.
Pass stuff and all the other stuff, like, because they did that at the end
Yeah.
of the thing.
Mhm.
So we will do it at the end of the thing. Let's talk about some fucking games. Motherfucking
Yeah.
Halo kicked it off, and if you had hit me across the head with a baseball bat and I was concussed, and I was like, but I still gotta watch the game showcase. Oh my god! Like, so I was a bit out of it, not really knowing what was going on, and I watched the Halo Infinite gameplay reveal. I would have been like, oh, it's Halo 1. That's cool. Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, apart from please don't hit me in the head with a bat. I mean that in the way of like, it's what I wanted them to do, or what I hope they do, especially after they revealed the box art, which looked kind of very similar to the original box art for Halo 1. Where it's like, oh, they're going to take it back to, in terms of its gameplay, because obviously there's a lot of other stuff going on in that reveal, but in terms of its gameplay, they're going back to the roots of Halo, which is probably a really good idea. It certainly looked like a really good idea. I love that. I love the flow of the gameplay. I love the different weapons. I love the fact that the reload button is still on the right bumper. I love that Halo has a different reload button to every other game in the known universe. Just because they're Halo, and that's where it is. But what do you think? Because I fucking loved it.
I'm not a Halo person. I've said that multiple times. I'm not a Halo person, so this didn't blow me away. Didn't tickle my fancy. I've never really connected to Halo overall as anything because I've never really played the game. So, but that's on my part. Like I said, I've never really given the games a good shot. Looks pretty. Gameplay looks average though for me. Basic first-person shooter, which we see every dime these days. So it's nothing. It screamed out very much Titanfall-ish. Screamed out very much Doom-ish, and I was just like, all right. Oh, at the end of the day, all you want is buttery smooth gameplay, and if it's buttery smooth gameplay and it's exciting and it's fun for everybody, that is the fantastic thing about it. Maybe you don't even know it didn't click for me. Doesn't mean I'd like say it's clicked for you, Amy. It's worked for you. That's fantastic, and that's what I love about this.
Well, I've liked all the Halos, the main Halos, to some degree or another. Except ODST, I didn't really like that one. But like this is the thing. This is the thing about this is the thing about gameplay reveals specifically, right, Mooney? Like, you know when everybody's like you mentioned it, there's a lot of CGI trailers, like at the beginning in this thing, and we will talk a lot about CGI trailers. It's like, I know what a first-person shooter looks like, and I totally get the whole, it looks like a first-person shooter, because it's like, you can't really show a first-person shooter not looking like a first-person shooter. And it's kind of the same with most games that fit into a box in terms of what genre it is. Like when everybody was complaining about the Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay. And then when we actually saw the gameplay at the Ubisoft Forward, it was like, well, it certainly looks like another Assassin's Creed game. Like, I know what that looks like already. Like,
I agree. You're spot on.
Like, they showed a couple of things that were interesting. And then they talked. There's like an IGN article that went up afterwards, which went into a bit more of a deep dive. That is some really interesting stuff as far as Halo is concerned. Like for me, yeah, the gameplay looked great. The gameplay in Halo and the shooting has its own. It's a very deliberate pace. Like, it's slower than most first-person shooters. So like
That's what I think it is. Yeah.
See, Titanfall and Doom are really quick, and like Call of Duty is really fast paced with a fast time to kill. Whereas with Halo's always been a little bit slower, and again, not necessarily in a bad way. It's just that's the pace of that particular series. But then it's like you do things like the story. I can't comment on the story because we really don't know all that much about the story. There was a bit of story in this gameplay reveal, but not enough for me to analyze in any great detail. Which is fine.
And that's the thing I think also hurts it a little bit. Just for a person who's like for me who is not the biggest fan, but wants to give this a try and will give this a try. There's no doubt about it. I am going to play this game when it comes out, but I think especially as they focused like hell on this game throughout all of this week. Halo gameplay, Halo gameplay, Halo gameplay, Halo gameplay. Thursday, blah 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 blah. And yeah, that's fantastic. We want to see, but I was saying, why do you want us to play this game if we are not a big Halo fan or anything like that? And I'm seeing a lot of people saying they aimed this for the OG fans. And that's great for the OG fans, but it's nothing for me. It does nothing for me, which is disappointing for me, because I want to know why Chief is such a great character for everybody. I want to know why this world is such an amazing world, and just a couple of more little snippets towards the story, I think would have helped me more. But for the OG fans, this was perfect I think for everybody, for the OG fans. So
I think that's exactly what it was supposed to be this time, because you got to
yeah.
remember, is this isn't the last time we're going to see Halo before
Oh, yeah,
it comes
definitely.
out. Like, I think this was to get people like me on board who were
Mhm,
burned by Halo 5 and
mhm.
like looking for the game, looking for the series to uncomplicate itself, I guess is a good way to describe it. And that's what I got with this gameplay reveal. And I got to see the new stuff. The grappling hook looks fucking amazing, and like the ways that they used it in the gameplay trailer was fantastic. But like they said, it was going to be gameplay, and it was gameplay. Like it, it was a stark contrast to the last time they said it was going to be gameplay. But
They were doomed if they were damned if they don't, or they were damned if they didn't.
yeah, I mean,
That's the thing.
I feel like this, like I feel like that every time I go on Twitter. Every time there's one of these things happens, you're damned if you do one of these things, and you're damned if you don't,
Yeah.
because people are gonna hate you no matter what.
Mhm.
But no, like this one was for me. The next one will probably be
Hopefully, it's
multiplayer.
gonna be for me.
The next one is either going to be the story trailer, and Halo has a history of doing phenomenally amazing story trailers, even if their games aren't phenomenally amazing, like Halo 5, and or it'll be multiplayer. So we'll either get to see the multiplayer, which we've not seen at all, which is crazy to think that we're only a few months away and they haven't showed off the multiplayer component,
Is
or we'll
that
get
a
the
worry
story
for you?
trailer. Not really.
No?
They've got to have something like I saw people talking about the things that they didn't show, right? Because that's the best thing to do when you see a game showcase. Focus on the things you didn't see. They've got to have shots in the chamber for next month because they're going to do the console reveal, but they're not just going to put the console on a pedestal and go, "This has all these components in it and it does this." They kind of show things to go with it. There'll be something there. There'll be a big trailer for the story. There'll be a deep dive into multiplayer at some point. Like, it doesn't worry me in the slightest. Halo 5's multiplayer was actually really, really good. Despite its campaign being a bit lackluster. So I've got no worries on that regard. Whether they've shown it or not. Like, they focused on one specific thing this time, and I think it was a really good idea. I like a lot of the additions, like the openness of the Halo ring of the map.
Yeah.
You can complete objectives in any order you want. You get there after I think it was a few hours of gameplay, so you'll do whatever the opening of the story is, and then you'll land on the Halo ring. There's the way they're talking about Halo Infinite, and this wasn't in the showcase. This was afterwards, and it's probably good that they didn't put this info in the showcase because it would have slowed it down. The Halo Infinite isn't. There's not going to be another Halo for a long time, like another mainline released Halo. So Halo Infinite is the platform now. It's not a live service game, so it's not Destiny. You can clearly see that in the actual game itself. But like new like Halo stories, new Halo campaigns, whatever you want to call them, will be released as expansions, DLCs, whatever, into Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite is the platform that they're going to build on, which, considering this is a Game Pass game, it's launching at the very beginning of a brand new generation, it's going to be cross-generational in terms of all the different consoles that it's going to be able to play on, is probably a really smart move. And crucially, it doesn't split the player base, ever, which is a big problem for multiplayer first-person shooters. So that excites me a lot. Like, I remember playing Halo 3 and buying the map pack. And you'd buy the map pack, and there won't be very many people in the map pack because you had to buy the map pack, and a lot of people couldn't buy the map pack. And it splits everyone across the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they're doing that with stories and stuff, which makes a lot of sense. But I'm just talking about Halo. I was hyped.
Yeah.
Coming out of it, I was level-headed going into it, and hyped coming out of it.
Very good. Next up, which I saw nobody actually talking about, thinking of predictions. I saw a lot of predictions videos over the last few days before this came up, and nobody that I've watched said a new State of Decay 3. Yes, this is just this was just a CGI trailer and everything. I'll say right now, never played State of Decay 1. Never played it at all. Played State of Decay 2. Thought it was absolute garbage. I'm just going to be frank there. I have to be honest. Personally, I thought it was a god awful game. Personally, with terrible game mechanics. This trailer I thought was actually really interesting and really canny. I hope it's going to grow. I hope they are going to take this into a full-on proper story for a main character. Hopefully, with this last lady who's in this game, well, from the CGI trailer, and doing this type of thing, what's going to be like a survival horror type suspense thing in the forest, maybe doing like things where you're going to be building a camp, but you're sticking to a story and everything, which is going to be flushing out and everything. But I really, it is just a CGI trailer, but taking me from don't give a flying hoot about to State of Decay to make me go, huh, I'm a little interested. Yes, there's only CGI, but the job of a trailer is to pique your interest, raise your level of hype, and it did raise me up a couple of bars. So, I thought it was not bad.
Or just to say, hey, we exist.
Oh, there's that as well, yeah. There's that as well, there's no doubt about it. But I thought, trailer did a good job for me.
I was quite proud of myself. I caught that it was State of Decay before we knew it was State of Decay. Like, I was like, is this State of Decay? And then, yeah, it was one of those things where I don't mention... we're in this weird time warp at the moment with everything that's going on. And, like, in State of Decay, it was this, like, reverse thing of, like, is this State of Decay? It can't be State of Decay didn't come out that long ago. And then it was like, actually, State of Decay 2 did come out a while ago. As it turns out. Like
17,
yeah, it was like 17, 16, one of the two.
Quite a few years.
And it was like, there's plenty of time for State of Decay 3 to be in development. Like, we talked about this on my Xbox and Mimi and Fix, because I was a regular when it came out, and I liked it a lot more than he did, than most people did, I think. There's definite ways they could easily make improvements to State of Decay 2. I liked it for what it was, but yeah, they could make the story idea of State of Decay 2, it 2 specifically. Like, I've played both of them. But the idea is the story is imagined. It is you are surviving in wherever the fuck you are during a zombie apocalypse, and you're doing it by building up the camp and getting the resources and trying to take care of your survivors and stuff like that. When you started, come on, camera, don't do this to me. When you started a new game, you picked 2 characters to start with and played through a prologue, and they had a backstory, and then there were quests as you went through that were tied to the story of the 2 characters, provided they were still alive. And yeah, they never really did anything with that. And it's like, if they can weave that into everything that makes State of Decay, and then improve on some of the other stuff, and maybe have it not be so buggy when it comes out. I'd be super excited about that. They need to take it to the next level, because State of Decay 2 was just kind of the ideal version of State of Decay 1. It was State of Decay 1 but polished and buggy. Work that one out, internet. But hopefully State of Decay 3 isn't just State of Decay 2, but with more polish. Hopefully they do take it to the next level, whatever that looks like. Because I like surviving. I like the gameplay loop of going out, scavenging, surviving. I was devastated when I lost one of my OG characters. Yeah. Not to zombies. Some fucking dickheads with guns who jumped out of a gas station and were like, we're going to kill you now. And I was like, no! And then later on, I was driving around and I saw one of my OG characters as a zombie, and I was like, I've got to kill you now. Feels bad. I went for a toilet break at the next part, so you can talk about the next game.
It was just a simple CGI trailer for Forza Motorsport.
Cars look good in next gen.
They showed really nothing, really. I won't lie. Which was surprising. It made it sound like that this game is not launching with the Series X.
No.
The way they came across with it. So that was very surprising. It made it sound like this is probably a 2021 game.
Fair enough. As we're going to talk about, Xbox Series going to have plenty of games launching on Series X. Yeah, cool. Cars look pretty on next gen. It's not a disrespect to 1010 or anything they've built in with the Forza Motorsport series. It's just that I really am not into Forza Motorsport. Like, I'm not into the simulation races. Like, if Forza Horizon has got my attention, always. But like when you're talking about like that, like tuning the car, tweaking the suspension, and doohicking the radiator, and declogging the valves, and bleaching the I don't know. I'm out of my depth already. Talking about cars. Everwild though, that was next,
It was a good little trailer.
and I was
liked
back
it.
from that, back for that, and it looked really nice.
That's the rare game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I would still knock for is that they haven't told us what this game really is, and I don't think it really explained it. But I'm very intrigued. I love the art style. Like the art style is beautiful. I think it's breathtaking, even personally. But other than that, yeah, it was a good little trailer. Need more still. I need more.
I don't. I'm sold. And there's a really obvious reason for why I'm going to say that about most of the games on here, which we'll get to at the end of the podcast. But no, like I'm sold on the art style. Looks great. The tone, the atmosphere looks fantastic. Like, yeah, a lot. Like we could have done a deeper dive into some of these games, but at the end of the day, like the deeper dive that we did into the more games we do a deep dive into, the less games we get to see. And Xbox were going for a broader. They were going for a few things with this showcase, but they were going for that sort of broad. Here's tons of different games. There will be something here for everyone.
Yeah.
And also, all of these games are coming to Game Pass, and as we mentioned, and that was a big thing. And like the more games they put onto their live stream of every one of these games is coming into Game Pass, the more impact that message has.
Yeah, and that's been the model basically for a lot of E3s now. Like last year's E3, they had 61 games. The year before, I think, was like 50 games. They go for a giant quantity of games to show you for a great diverse of type of they're aiming, like I said, they're aiming for many different people here, many different audiences, and and it's working for them. At the end of the day, Game Pass is a fantastic thing out there. Without that. It still baffles me that Sony haven't really got on board with yet, even though they kind of have, but they haven't really to the level of what Game Pass is.
It doesn't baffle me, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Next up was Don't Nod's Tell Me Why.
I'm glad we saw this.
Got released it. First chapter's August, second one September, I believe, and the third
one's also September. The second and third, I think they're coming out within a week of each other. So like 1, 2, and 3, like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I was worried when we didn't see this at the show at the last thing. That it's disappeared. Like it's not coming out for ages. And then it came up on here, and I was like, yay, it's not dead, or like gone for years. Yeah, it's cool. Like it looks fun. It's everything I said at the last E3. I'm super interested to play it. Don't Nod actually put out an FAQ, which answers some questions about things that would make me nervous going into this kind of game. Don't Nod got right out in front, answered all of those questions about potentially traumatic content in the game, and I was like, cool. I wish more games had done this. Like, you remember a few weeks ago? Yeah, the latest episode.
Go and check out the latest episode of the Words About Games cast. We talk about some developers that have done things right and the things that one has definitely not done right, and he argued against it.
You remember a few weeks ago when we did our Last of Us Part 2 spoilercast, and I said they did it well, but I could have done with some way of being warned in advance. But I don't know what that looks like. I now know what that looks like.
Yeah,
it's right here.
That's fantastic.
Don't Nod did it.
Yeah. I've loved every season of Life is Strange. Life is Strange 1 and 2 really got into the characters. Really enjoyed Before the Storm. And I am looking forward to this as well. Yeah, they just throw out really good, fun games, but with good stories about certain things. Like the last one was about Spanish characters. They're going into race and diversity, going into like the Trump type issues that about building a wall. spoilers into that last episode, they fucking built a wall in that game, which I thought was, what the hell? Seriously, I couldn't believe it when I saw that. But no, yeah, this one I am very much looking forward to, because what I love so much about it, for both season 1 and 2, and Before the Storm, is I'm connecting to learning about characters of different ethnic groups and seeing their side of the story and everything. And I think that's one thing where I think hopefully will help. Yeah, like me and Amy were very good friends. We're going on very well, but I don't know your side of how you are as a person, personally, from what things you go through as a trans person. This, I hope, will help me understand you a little bit more and everything, and that's why I think is going to be fantastic. I'm hoping. Cross fingers and everything like that.
Yeah, there is still
learning here.
Yeah, it might still suck, who knows, but
yeah.
No, like, yeah. I mean, I hope that the trans stuff is like second to whatever story they want to tell, which clearly isn't about that. Because that normalizes trans characters. If the trans character storyline isn't about them being trans and it's about something else.
It does seem like it is not about that.
And it's not about that.
Else.
No.
Like, what I love about that.
Yeah, like it'll be a part of it, I'm sure, but it's about something else.
Just before we move on, can you hear anything that's coming out of my window?
Hold on. No, not even if I turn you up. Two quick ones, because I don't really want to linger on either of these. Ori and the Will of the Wisps is going to be enhanced for Xbox Series X. This was the one thing where they were talking about the advantages of the Series X by saying, look at this game, now it's going to be in 120 frames per second. I'm sure we'll hear more about that the next thing.
Didn't need this.
It's the one thing. Like, look, right, if you give me 22 games, like 22 awesome looking games, I will forgive you. Well, 22 games and it was awesome, and it was an awesome showcase. I'll forgive you for spending 30 seconds talking about 120 frame rate per second. And Outer Worlds DLC, which looks cool, and I'll probably play it because I'm sure I can grab it in Game Pass. Like, otherwise I wouldn't have, but I love the Outer Worlds, so I'll definitely dip in for a few more hours.
I was indifferent with it. I never completed it because I wasn't connecting with the game, so I just gave up on it. So anyone who loved the game and everything, I'm happy that you're getting a lot of good, an extra expansion and content towards the game and everything. I'm looking for. I thought one thing that made me laugh was the next thing was Grounded. I love it.
If you're waiting for the biggest game of the year, then wait for Cyberpunk. But I was like, yeah, all right, cool, you got me.
I loved it. I thought that was so funny in how they did that. It was a really smart little thing. It's coming out in beta soon, I believe. Not beta, free.
Game preview and early access. Game preview on Xbox, early access on Steam. Yeah, like Grounded looks cool to me. Like I've always thought it looked cool since they announced it. Will I try it in game preview? Guys, have you seen how many games there are coming out at the minute? Like, I got my Torchlight 3 card like 3 weeks back and I still haven't even downloaded it yet. like look, look at the games. There's a pile. It's not a literal pile because most of them are digital. But if it was a literal pile, it'd be like there'd be a pile of games right here, like up here. And I'd be like, I don't know, stop.
Stop spending me stuff. I take it back. I don't want your codes anymore.
But I would like to stream it and I would like to preview it, just to see what it's all about. Because I like Obsidian as a developer. I've loved a lot of their games. But
I'll say one thing though, the next thing they showed actually made me go,
yeah,
all right, you got my attention now.
Yeah, because as I was about to segue, it's like I love them for their RPGs, and they basically just came out, showed a trailer, and just said, when Microsoft asked us what do we want to make next, we said Skyrim.
Skyrim 2. We're gonna give you Skyrim 2. I loved it. I thought the trailer was really, really good. I'll give this is probably the thing that made me literally go, yeah, all right, you've now got my attention. I really enjoyed the trailer. It's a CG trailer, but knowing what they have, like, I'm not the biggest Fallout guy, but I played New Vegas and I did enjoy it. Never completed or anything like that, but I remember enjoying that gameplay and what they did to the elements. Even though it didn't transfer too much for me over into Outer Wilds, I do like a medieval setting and everything, just like kind of like Dragon Age, even though different type of styles of gameplay. But this screamed out like type of thing for me, just like Skyrim. Yeah, this was a this was a tick for me when I was going, yep.
Yep. Avowed, it's called.
Avowed.
And yeah, I'm 100% down for
3 years, I would say.
I'm down for any Obsidian RPG. Like if Obsidian tell me they want to make an RPG, I'm like, cool. Let me just give you my card here. Just take it now. It's fine. Which I actually did once when they kickstarted Pillars of Eternity. Mm-hmm. I was like, here's money. Give game.
Next up is As Ducks Fall.
Dusk.
Dusk Falls.
Dusk, not Ducks. Very different.
I put Ducks.
Very different mood to the game, I think, because this seems more like a gritty crime drama video game than necessarily anything about ducks. Well, there might be a duck in it. I don't. Who knows? The art style looks cool, and I'm interested because I'm interested in this type of game. So it's one of those where it's like, okay, this looks cool. It goes to the back of my mind, and then whenever I'll see something of it, whether it's a new trailer or tweets or an article, I'll go, oh yeah, and then I'll bring it back to the front.
Remember that one? Yeah.
Remember that. It was the same with Senua Saga Hellblade too. It was like, okay, cool. Like they're reminding us it exists, and
it's in Iceland.
And it's in Iceland, and there'll be updates coming, which is cool. Development on this game probably completely stalled out the second they couldn't do any motion capture anymore. Which
depends how much motion capture they got done.
I didn't think about for a while, and then when it was like it came to Senua's Saga at this showcase, I was like, oh yeah, they've probably had a really bad time of it because motion capture is a big part of this game. So yeah, I wondered.
I never thought about it until you've literally just said it there myself.
Yeah.
So
my whole
people have actually.
No. When they did it at the Game Awards last year, like it was the first Xbox Series X game apart from Halo Infinite that they announced, and so like in my head it was like, well, it's one of the first ones, so it's got to be one of the first ones out of the gate, and that's why for like most of 2020 I've been quite bullish in saying, look, if it doesn't come at launch, it's coming really soon after launch. And then I thought about it when we saw nothing basically of it at this showcase, and I was like, that's probably why.
This is fall 2021 now, probably.
Yeah,
I bet this was early 2021 for me personally, but I bet it's been pushed to fall 2021.
Yeah, this was holiday or very close to holiday. I'm glad I didn't put a cheeky bit on it for a fantasy game league now.
I had it prepared.
I was ready.
And then they showed nothing, and I was like, delete that.
Nope. Still got one more space in my team.
I've still got two. Next up, Psychonauts 2.
It was a cool trailer for a weird game. I've never played Psychonauts, but I've heard people whose gaming opinions I respect a lot love Psychonauts, and I've always wanted to play it, and then I've never gotten around to it. And then I've watched this trailer, and it's been trippy as fuck, and Jack Black singing at me, and I was like,
love Jack Black?
And I was like, Ninja probably. And I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll give Psychonauts a go because this looks pretty cool. It looks weird, mate. And you know how I feel about weird games. I didn't wear this t-shirt. I didn't wear this t-shirt on accident.
The weirder better for you, innit? So,
I'll drink to that.
A big one. A lot of people I saw online going, "Oh, why are they showing this game on it?" And I'm just like,
"You're talking about the next thing."
That's stupid.
Because
this is huge.
I flipped, Moody. I flipped.
2 coming to Game Pass later this year. I think November. They said
when Beyond Light, Destiny 2 Beyond Light comes out November 10th, which is the new expansion. I
believe they said it has all its expansions in Game Pass.
Destiny 2, the entirety, including Beyond Light when it comes out, is going to be
I
in
could
Game
get
Pass.
back into Destiny on Xbox with the better controller.
I prefer the DualShock 4, but like I saw the same thing on Twitter. People being like, "Why are they talking about Destiny?" My dudes, Destiny is one of the biggest games gone, and it's going to be in Game Pass. Like, I would have seen the value of this if I wasn't a Destiny 2 player.
Yep.
But I am a Destiny 2 player.
I'm not the Destiny 2 fan, and I saw the value in this.
I'm a Destiny 2 player on PlayStation 4. What do you think the first thing I Googled after the game showcase was?
Destiny 2.
Specifically, does cross-save work from PS4 to Xbox? Yes, it does. Yeah. Yes, it does. That was the first thing I checked. Because you better fucking believe, like, November 10th rolls around, I'm just going to take all that progression and all my character, and I'm just going to drop it in on Xbox and start playing on Xbox because it's on Game Pass. What the fuck wouldn't I do that?
Mm-hmm. This is huge. Like, going back to the last episode again, ladies and gentlemen, you should definitely check out the latest episode that just dropped Monday. We talked about IPs, and PlayStation throughout this generation had the biggest IPs marketing-wise attached to their console to make people go, "Oh, it's on PlayStation. We gotta get PlayStation." I think, and now Destiny 2, all its content, everything on Game Pass in November,
and potentially going forward.
And
I mean, apart from the fact that one of the biggest online live service games, one of the only ones that I'd say is pretty consistent high numbers, is coming to Xbox. But there's two other really significant things about this. The first one is that up until now, PS4 had all the timed content, all the exclusive content. It had exclusive raids, it had exclusive strikes, it had exclusive locations, and I'm guessing now it doesn't. And even if it did, fuck it. Like, I'll take being able to play Beyond Light for nothing. I have, like I said on the last podcast, I have Game Pass Ultimate until January 2022, which basically means the entirety of Destiny 2 is free to play as far as I'm concerned for me because of my situation. That's significant. The other significant thing is Bungie's come home. Like, and I don't see enough people tweeting about this. It's like Bungie, like the original Halo creators, who left to make Destiny away from Microsoft, have now come back. Like, and it was not necessarily a friendly divorce. Like, from the things that we've heard them talk about in the 10 years, I think it's been since they split from Microsoft, it was not what I would call a friendly, amicable split. So for them to be like, yeah, cool, we'll come back and we'll put our thing on Game Pass, that's significant. And I think that's more significant than people realize to how Microsoft has changed, how Xbox has changed as a company in the past 10 years. It's something we've talked about on this podcast a lot, but if you want proof, here's the fucking proof. Bungie's back. They're not like, I know they're not like a first party developer again or whatever, but they're bringing their game back to Xbox in a significant way.
Yeah, this is highly significant, ladies and gentlemen. Highly significant. After that, we went into
Stalker 2, yeah. Stalker 2. Which is a big... a lot of these games are a big deal elsewhere. So, like, Stalker is a big deal on PC. Like, it's got a big community on PC. It's very well regarded. So to see it come up, like, I was never massively into Stalker. I'll give Stalker 2 a try. Like, but again, it's one of those things where it's like, to see it come up at an Xbox game showcase, it's coming to Game Pass, etc., etc. I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah. Next up, Warhammer Darktide.
Warhammer 40k Darktide. I let out some noises about this one.
You let some noises?
I did. So, like, as a teenager, I was big into Warhammer 40k. So, like, I recognized the aesthetic well before it was like, this is a Warhammer game. You know what I mean? Like, I saw the guns. I saw the armor. Yeah. I was like, this is a Warhammer 40,000 game. That's really cool. And then when the developer logo came up and it was like, it's Fat Shark. And I was like, Fat Shark made Vermintide. And they made Vermintide 2. I love both of those games. They're like multiplayer co-op, Warhammer Fantasy, Left 4 Dead kind of style games that I've loved playing. And, like, my brain put two and two together. This is a Warhammer 40,000 Vermintide style game. And then I made some noises because I was like, that sounds fucking brilliant. Like, and then obviously, yes, it is. It came up. And I was like, fuck yeah. It's going to be in Game Pass. So it won't be difficult to convince people to play it with me. Last time I had to sort of extra codes and convince people to buy it. And this time it's just like, yo, you're in Game Pass.
Yeah, I'm indifferent to it. I have no pipe or interest in the Warhammer. I've never played a game of theirs that I know of. So, yeah, and the same goes for Stalker 2. Like, I never even heard of it until you said it was actually, it's one piece of thinking, of course I don't know it.
Stalker, something of Chernobyl.
Yeah. Oh, when I saw the trailer, I was thinking, that's Chernobyl. That's Chernobyl. That is definitely Chernobyl. Well, this is somewhere in Chernobyl. That's guaranteed, ladies and gentlemen. But no, yeah, a lot of shout out to from, like I said, they spoke to everybody. This is like one I'm going to reiterate again. They spoke to everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Even though some of the games didn't speak to me, they still spoke to everybody. Spoke to Amy, they spoke to me.
Plus, like, even if you're on the fence about something, like, you could just download it one day and give it a try. It's not like you need to drop 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds on a game and be like, well, I guess I better spend money. It's like, no, you have Game Pass. You could look at Warhammer 40k Darktide and go, Amy's been playing it. I'll download it and I'll play it with her for a bit. And if you don't like it, it didn't cost you shit. It cost you a little bit of time. And how worthless is our time, Rudy? Very worthless.
Very worthless. I won't lie. There's no doubt about it. What wasn't worthless was a game I have never played before, but I heard nothing but hype for it. That was Tetris Effect, and I literally went, fine.
Oh, damn.
I can play it. That's what I was like to myself. I heard nothing but love for it when it came out.
It's amazing.
Thinking, I want to play it. 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 And I was like, I don't have anything that can play it.
It's good in VR too.
Bugger off. But no, yeah, I was like, yes, finally. I like a good Tetris game. I like those type of games, just to chill and relax and just have a good fun with. So yeah,
and it's co-op.
Well exactly.
It's co-op. You get to fucking drop your things on other people's things to help them out. And like Tetris 99 never really spoke to me because like Tetris Battle Royale, like Tetris is stressful enough for me anyway. But like, I don't know. There's something like really wholesome about the way they put the trailer together, or like what they showed, how they revealed like the multiplayer and how it works and stuff. Where I was just like, that's really nice, and I really dig that.
Yeah. Next two games, I really like the look of, especially the one after the one we're going to talk about.
Oh fuck yeah!
First one, the Gunk.
The Gunk.
Really liked. I thought the art style was just really, really charming and adorable. I was just like, this is really, really canny. I really like the look of it.
Yeah, it does look good. We'll just talk about that because we're going to talk about the game after that, probably at length. So I just wanted to put mine out about the Gunk. Like, I like Image and Form. Like, Steamworld Quest came out last year. That was really good. Steamworld Dig, both of those games I've played and really loved. I've never played Steamworld Heist, but basically, like, they made and do still make, actually, because Steamworld Dig's a thing. They make the Steamworld series, like, so they've got the benefit of the doubt from me and being like, they make good games. And the Gunk looks cool. Like, yeah.
It screamed out the same art style as, was it Bridge of Spirits, is it?
Kina,
yeah. It seemed like something kind of like that for me. Just so for off scope of what they were maybe going for, and I really like that, so. Yeah, next one was, I would say for me, is probably I'll say right now, probably the game of the show for me. The Medium. We saw a trailer for this in the last thing they did in May, I believe. And we were like, I like that look. That's very intriguing. Yeah, it raised our interest. This was probably my big blow me away type of thing. And I was just like, this concept is flipping amazing. I need this game now. Give me it now. This is fantastic. I wanted this right here, right now, and this was the game for me. The game of the show for me by a mile for me. I can't fault what they showed of this game. I just loved everything. It just literally made me go, "Oh my god!"
Oh my, yeah. It's a horror game. I was already in, but like it looks super cool. It looks super creepy. It sounds super creepy. Whoever the thing was that was whispering and like talking and stuff. Not a fan. Don't want to meet that person. But like the whole like dual world thing, it's like it's gonna be two worlds being rendered simultaneously, one on top of the other. sounds fantastic. Like, so whatever, like there'll be no issues of switching between the two worlds, right? Like you switch between one and the other, and it's like, well, it's already there, so there's no large screens, there's gonna be no waiting. It's just gonna be push a button or like interact with the thing or whatever. However you do it, you just do it, and it just goes boop, and there you are.
Yeah. Now, this is the thing, like, a lot of people are saying, what's next gen going to be? This is what next gen is going to be, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
These type of concepts, these type of game imaginary, this is going to make game developers' imagination go wild of what they'll be able to do. We saw that with Ratchet and Clank at the PlayStation 5 conference, made that look, if it's true what they showed there was completely seamless, that is fantastic, and that's what you want to see. And this type of gameplay mechanic, what they're aiming for here, just screams out what we want to see and everything. So
yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm more interested in the gameplay than I am in the 120 frames per second, super souped up high fidelity graphics of the next gen. Like, don't get me wrong, like, cool if you're into that kind of thing, if you're into the tech and you're into the performance and the high fidelity of graphics, that's fine, and like you can be into that. But I'm looking for the gameplay. Like, how is the next generation gonna bring the gameplay forward? And we've seen it with the medium. In terms of the way the world is loaded and the world works, we've seen it with Ratchet and Clank. In terms of, again, the way how the worlds work, and you can just go, because there was a loading screen between the two worlds, because there's that brief moment where you between portals and you go through one and into the other. That was probably the loading screen. It's just it didn't trigger as a loading screen in your brain because it only lasted about a second. But like, it's why games like Days Gone, when it was first revealed, like stood out to me, even though like in the end the game was disappointing. It was like, this is something that's only possible on the current generation and not the previous generation, with the number of enemies that were on the screen at once and attacking the character. It's like stuff like that. That's what gets me excited for next generation.
That's
Always. True. Like Left 4 Dead, like, or like there's the famous case of Left 4 Dead where it's like, it feels like there's hundreds of zombies coming at you, but there's only ever 30 on screen at once because that's all the game can manage.
Yeah. The next two games, I won't lie, didn't speak to me whatsoever because I didn't know anything about them. So I was just like, okay, but just like, this is kind of like, I'm guessing, the same as like Warhammer and the Stalker game. It has its own audience in a different area of the world.
Yeah, these are really interesting things. So Phantasy Star Online 2 is huge in Japan, never came out in the West. So it's finally coming out in the West, and it's coming out on Xbox and PC, obviously. But like, as part of Game Pass, they announced it. I want to say last E3, might have been the E3 before, but it was a very vague announcement where it was just Phantasy Star Online 2 is coming, whereas this is more concrete, specific. It's a new expansion, it's got a new world, it's got a new this, and there's a lot of people who'll be really happy and excited about this. Like, I haven't been into an MMO in 10 years. Like 9-10 years, so like, I fell off the MMO train, but hey, fantastic for the people who want it. Crossfire X is another one that's really interesting, where it's Crossfire is like the biggest first-person shooter in the world. Like, really? in terms of its players, it's in China. It's Chinese, I believe. It's China, and it is it is the biggest first-person shooter in the world. It's just not available anywhere, apart from in China. So the fact that it's coming to Xbox is huge. The fact that they've tapped Remedy Entertainment to make a single-player campaign for it is also pretty big. Like, if it takes, it could take off, it could not take off.
In Remedy, you're going to get bought by Sony.
Yeah.
If anyone thought that was actually going to happen, this, I think, tells you no, it's not right. It's not going to happen eventually. No. Maybe it might, but it's not happening anytime soon.
No. But yeah, like this, it's fascinating because, again, like, it's always funny to mention, like, it's the biggest first-person shooter going, and no one's ever heard of it. It'll be interesting and fascinating to see how well it does elsewhere in the world, like when it comes out. Because I'm sure it's going to try it. It looks really cool. Like, as someone who is a fan of first-person shooters, as a genre, like, it looked really slick. And it's in Game Pass, so why wouldn't I give it a try?
Cool. And the final thing...
We'll do the game, and then we'll do the thing that we talked about before.
Yeah, long last. The thing that's been basically touted and talked about for years, for the last year and a half, if not 2 years, of rumors that this was getting made by Playground Games. Fable. Fable finally revealed at long last, and nothing but a literally, I think, 20-second CGI trailer.
That nailed the tone of Fable perfectly, I just want to add. Like, they showed in that 30-second teaser that they get it. The tone that they need to go for a new Fable game.
A frog at Tinkerbell.
Yeah. While she was giving a hopeful speech about the future.
Yeah.
And the frog just went, nah, you're right. It's like the chicken in Fable 2. Fable 3.
Yeah.
I saw a really funny tweet about this. That Leamington Spa breathed the collective sigh of relief that this was finally announced, because this is one of the worst kept secrets of video games. That this was happening. It was being made in Leamington Spa by Playground Games, and now we can all finally talk about it.
That is true. For me, because it was just a 25-second trailer, this game is a ways out for me.
Maybe.
For me, it's probably 2022.
Maybe.
Probably, which is not a problem. They needed to sell you on what's coming and what they've got coming down the pipeline. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I'll say this right now. I think a 25-second trailer, for me, I didn't like personally. I wanted to see, not gameplay or anything like that. I just wanted to see something more, and it was literally just an announcement trailer. It smelled of what Bethesda did when they revealed, he's Elder Scrolls 6 and here's the Starlight Space thing we're doing. That's all we've got to show you right now, and that's what it smelled like for me.
It was a little less cynical than that, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. But I'm super hyped. We've both been hyped that this was possibly going to be happening, even though we both preferred a new IP overall. What are your thoughts, though, on that? It's Fable. Does that tell you this is a reboot, or they're just going to call it Fable?
I feel like it was always going to be rebooted, because it's a new developer. It's been long enough that it's gonna be new, right? It's not gonna be an extension of what came before. Like, it will in a lot of ways, but what I mean is, it's not gonna feel like a sequel. It's gonna feel like a reboot. It'll be the same when they announce Perfect Dark. It'll carry on a lot of stuff from Perfect Dark that we know, but it will be a completely different thing. Which is why that will be called Perfect Dark. But yeah, what I'll say, a 25-second thing meaning that it's really, really far away is like, okay. And I say this with no insider knowledge, unlike all the times that I kept hinting that Fable was going to be a thing. Like, knowing, like, I think 90% of video game people in Europe that this existed. I'm not, like, I think wait until August before we say when this is coming. Because I said at the top of the shot, they have shots chambered for August. Like, they have to. Like, you can't just, they're going to show console, they're going to show stuff with it. And we may get some Fable stuff there.
So do you think they were just holding back to show something in August?
I think they didn't need to show more than a title card right now, because this is new to people.
They did push Fable. Fable was their main thing for people to come and see this today. There was no doubt about that.
And yeah, I think you'll see more at the Series X reveal, I guess. Whatever it is in August. Like the big blowout reveal, like where they show us everything.
Reveal, prize, date, the whole shebang.
Yeah, we'll see Elden Ring, and we'll see Fable, and we'll see more Halo, and we might see Perfect Dark and Battletoads. But like, you know what I mean? Like, there's got to be more games and to show at this thing, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they will just focus on showing more of what they showed today, along with third parties that are releasing in holiday 2020. But no, I think there'll be some stuff that we haven't seen yet from Xbox specifically.
Yeah, that's fair.
But again, everything we just talked about is going to be in Game Pass, unless it's free to play, and then it'll be free to play. Like, that's ridiculous. But
really is.
at the same time, it's amazing. Like, we talked about it over the last few weeks when we've talked about accessibility of price points and the differences between Sony and Microsoft's approach to to the next generation, and like it's a stark contrast now, thanks to today, where it's like this is what they're going for. Game Pass. Once they marry that up with xCloud, and hey, you own a thing, a phone, a computer, or a tablet, a laptop, whatever the fuck you're gonna be able to play it on. Like, cool, just get Game Pass and you can have our games. You can have all of the games that we just showed you, from Halo Infinite all the way down to like Grounded or Tetris Effect, the Gunk, the Medium, like all that stuff. You get to just try it. Like, you don't need to spend loads of money on a Series X. But I think the messaging in August is going to be what they ended this show with, where it is. But the Series X will be the most powerful console in the world.
That as well. So I have a thought, and you have a thought. So who wants to go first?
You go first, because I don't remember my thought. But it might jog my memory.
So they said 100+ games at launch, with the Game Pass and everything like that. But when the Xbox Series X comes out, that got me thinking. And this is This is just me literally overthinking this. I can guarantee that right now. I don't think the Xbox Series X is going to be $399, and I don't even think it's going to be $499. I think it could be $599 because of this. And they have the perfect thing to say. We may be $599, but we have 100+ games, because they can literally just tout in saying 12 months of Xbox Game Pass in that. And that's what I think. I think I'm shooting for the sky there, honestly. But I don't know. It was just something how he said it. We have 100+ games, and it literally just made me go, why do I think your console's going to be higher than everyone is literally saying $399 or $499? Why do I just had this? It was like he was looking into me, and I was just like saying, we're going to be $599 or something like that. And then the S was going to be like $299 or something, like off the half price.
I was going to say
what the rumor is for that thing and everything. But,
yeah, you should check out our latest podcast where we have some I had some very tasty theories and speculation about Xbox's future pricing model. Look, I've said it for months. I've said it on my Xbox and Me, and it was not a popular opinion. I've said it on our podcast, and it was mildly more popular opinion. It does not matter how much Series X costs. If they came out and said Series X costs £600, cool. That's a lot, and they won't sell very many. They don't care. That's not what they're trying to do. And they have lower SKUs. Like, their barrier for entry is lower. If they came out and said Series X is £600, right? Who cares? Mm-hmm. People who want that will buy it. People who can't afford it will buy an Xbox One S. And it will be cheaper.
Who can't afford it will buy an Xbox One S.
And it will be cheaper. And it will be cheap enough for people to pay. Whereas when PlayStation 5 come out and announced their price, that is the price that you have to pay to play Spider-Man, Deathloop, Horizon Forbidden West, and all the other stuff that's going to come out on it. Like, that's the difference. That's what Microsoft is shooting. Like, we've talked about it a lot over the years with Nintendo dancing to its own tune versus the other two, whereas now all three of them are now going off in different directions. They all have different objectives at this point. And no one's right and no one's wrong. Like, they're all trying to do different things. PlayStation's trying to be the traditional console upgrade model. Nintendo is just being Nintendo off in the corner. And Xbox is doing this thing where they're like, cool, give us whatever you can afford. Like, you want to play all of these games, but you can't afford a brand new console? Just give us some money for $10 a month. How about that? That'll do. Like, because at the end, they're making a $10 a month more than they would have already.
That's true.
But they could also use that, what you just said, to go in the opposite direction. And instead of Series X being £600, being £500, being £400, it could be cheap. It could be cheap. And it could be subsidized by Game Pass. Because if you have an Xbox in the next generation, from the holiday 2020 onwards, if you own an Xbox, like, I'm going to plant my flag in and say it, like, the majority, more than 50% of new owners of Xbox will have Game Pass. Because there's just no reason not to.
That is true. And what you're saying is, I think you are really nailing it there. What you're saying with Game Pass there. They are selling you Game Pass. Everything they said throughout this whole thing, every game on Game Pass. every game on Game Pass, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what you are. You're spot on there, Amy. You really are. I think you've literally just nailed it on the head. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm right. It's going to be $5.99. But what Amy said is facts at the same time.
The console is what they would like to sell you. That's the upsell. Game Pass is what they want to sell you.
Yeah, that's true. Very good. Very good. Have you rethought of what you were thinking?
No, and I don't really want to because I feel like that epic...
You just nailed it, yeah.
I've just nailed it right there. Like, I'm my own biggest critic on these podcasts, but even I'm going to just hold my hands up and say, woof, that was a good one.
Amy just walked out, planted her flag.
I'll be honest, I might actually clip that and put it on Twitter because, woo, I mean, tell you,
that'll be brilliant.
I think I fucking nailed that one.
That's true. That's true.
So yeah, that's going to do it for this. We're going to do a podcast next week. It's not going to be as fun and lighthearted as this was. Thanks, games industry.
Thanks, Ubisoft.
Thanks, Ubisoft. What did you guys think of the Xbox showcase? Because I loved it. Mooney thought it was good. I've seen dissenting opinions.
Solid show. Yeah, I thought it was a really good, solid show. It's just that, like the thing that even though I am primarily an Xbox player, I admit that on the console part, most of the games I play are third party on that. The exclusives have never blown me away, never have this generation. I've stood by everything what I've said. There's only 3 exclusives that now are not really exclusives really anymore, apart from one still, that have been at our top tier games from Xbox, and that is Ori 1, Ori 2, and Cuphead. For me, I don't think Halo did very well this generation, and I don't think personally Gears did very well this generation. Personally,
no, that's where I draw the line.
The gameplay sucks.
The gameplay doesn't suck. You suck.
It's stiffy. It's stiff.
It's deliberate.
It's clunky.
You're clunky.
I am too. I'm like a bull in a china shop.
So am I. But that's going to do it. We've passed the hour mark, and that seems like a good enough place to end. Thank you very much for watching this reaction to a game showcase. Video games, man.
That's the thing what I love. Video games. They give you games, ladies and gentlemen. They give you what you wanted. Yes, not all of them were gameplay. I don't care. They give you games. They give you 22 games.
Do you know when the best time to see gameplay for a game is?
When you play it.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a great line to exit on.